Hello again and welcome. I'm going to find my script. There it is. Okay, so hi everyone. My name is Cindy Gast, as most of you know, and I'll be your Zoom host for the evening. I'm the president of our Charlottesville, USA Dance chapter. And on behalf of our entire board, it's my pleasure to welcome each one of you to our free Zoom class. We are very pleased to welcome Taylor Moore back to our event. Tonight's dance class is on Bolero. So tonight we are thrilled to have Taylor joining us from Charlottesville Ballroom. And for those who do not know him, I'd like to take a couple minutes to introduce you. Taylor Moore is an instructor at Charlottesville Ballroom in Virginia. A Charlottesville native, Taylor began his dance career in 2013 and has since achieved national and world rankings, both as an instructor and a professional competitor. As a teacher, Taylor enjoys making dance feel approachable and accessible to everyone. As a professional competitor, he has received the first place top teacher award from 5 different competitions, including several USA Dance competitions, the Carolina Fall Classic and Southeastern Dance Sport Championships. Additionally, he ranked 7th in the Professional World Peabody Championship, as well as 5th in the Pro-Am World Peabody Championship. Thank you, Taylor. You can take it away.
All righty. Sorry about that. I got a bit of a pop-up on my own. Hello, everybody. Welcome to our Bolero class. We've got a wonderful collection of technique bits, figures that we're going to go over, and I will be joined presently by my coworker Tara for the demonstrations of these. Now, for those of you who are not familiar with Bolero, Bolero is an American rhythm dance, which simply translates into it more or less stays in one place, doesn't really travel around the floor the way your dances like foxtrot and waltz will. The rhythm for Bolero is really a trademark of its roots. It is a Cuban dance, so the rhythm for it is slow, quick, quick, with each slow count being 2 beats of music, each quick count being 1. So you're going to find a lot of crossover between Bolero and rumba, mambo, salsa, cha-cha. All of these have very rich Cuban roots. Now, Bolero stands out from the others in several ways. One, it is big and slow and dramatic. So it has a tendency to feel a bit over the top, which is what you want it to feel like. It's what the music is doing. The other thing about Bolero is it has slightly different technique from your typical Cuban technique and motion. A lot of your Cuban dances, really all except Bolero, really have this universal motion where you step onto a bent leg, out of a straight leg, and then you grow and settle, and then you're going to push to the other side and grow and settle. You see this very clearly in rumba. Bolero has a little bit of a standout where at any point you may find yourself with 2 bent knees or 2 straight knees. It has some elements of rise and fall. So it shares some things in common with waltz. Also, the top for Bolero, the top of the body, is going to feel a little bit like tango. A lot of people don't make that connection because tango and Bolero are so very different in the way they feel. But the upper body for Bolero is going to have a lot in common with tango. So as we do some of these motions, as we look at some of this technique, if you're familiar with waltz or tango, you can kind of tap into that. If you're not familiar with waltz and tango, hey, here's a little bit of a sampler for you. Now, when we look at the basic step for Bolero, it's got parts of it that are universal and parts of it that are very individual. The universal part of Bolero is that it starts to the side and then has a rock step or a breaking action, and then it'll step to the side and have a rock step and a breaking action. So it will have the back rock, side, forward rock, side structure. Now, the way we go about this is going to be a little different. So when we start off in Bolero, everybody's doing the same thing, just at slightly different times. So don't worry about whether or not you're looking at the leader's part or the follower's part. It's all kind of the same. So when we do this, we want to kind of think of our body being low in the knees, not flexed, but soft in the knees. And we're going to get step side and grow. And so that's 1, 2. And right now I'm not doing it mirrored. So I'll do it mirrored for you. So you're going to go to your left and rise up. And then you're going to step back on the right foot and lower and step forward on the left foot. So you're going to have this slow, grow, rock, lower, push. And then you're going to step to the other side, low, grow, rock, lower, push. Remember, I'm doing this mirrored. So you should be stepping to your left, grow, step back on the right foot, lower, push. Step side, grow, step forward on the left foot, lower, push. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and turn around and we're going to do this all together. So we're starting with the left foot free. We're going to step side, grow, back, lower, push, side, grow, step, lower, push, side, grow, back, lower, push, side, grow, step, lower, push. Now, as we do this, of course, it gets very boring if we are just doing this in sort of this static zigzag. When we take these rock steps, both forward and backwards, we're going to get a little bit of rotation to the left. So if we think of it like this, we're going to have our left foot in front, we're going to have our right foot behind, and the rocking action, while taking us forward and backward, will also take us a little bit to the left as we move. There is no universally prescribed degree of rotation that I would recommend. So just kind of keep it comfortable. It's very, very steerable from one figure to the next. Kind of just do what the music is telling you to do. So as we take this action, we're going to step side, grow, rock with rotation, 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 side, grow, rock with rotation. All right, so if this is making sense, what I'm going to do is put on just a little bit of music and let you get a feel for that. We have 5, 6, 5, 6, 7, slow, grow. So that is our basic step and our basic kind of action that we have for this. Now, when we're doing a dance, doesn't really matter what dance it is, the basic step forms sort of a series of rules that you follow, or guidelines really, that you follow for the dance. It tells you the technique, tells you the rhythm, and it tells you sort of the basic framework of how things are going to be constructed. But the basic itself is not what you want to be doing the entire time. So we do patterns. So first pattern we're going to talk about is the crossover break into underarm turn. And for this, I have my wonderful assistant and co-instructor, Tara McGough. So when we look at moving with a partner, we're going to be using a frame that's actually very similar to what you'd find in waltz or tango. So the follower's hand is going to be placed at the top of the leader's shoulder, follower's left hand to the leader's right shoulder. The leader's right hand is going to be very firmly and still gently on the follower's shoulder blade. And the follower is going to be kind of settling back and filling up that space so that we feel a connection both on the shoulder and at the top of the leader's arm. The other hand, the leader's left and follower's right, is going to be held very gently, palm to palm. And the way I think about it is that the follower gives a little bit of a queen wave and the leader hitches a ride, and we just combine the two of those together. So when we move, now we're creating a common center between these two connections, and we keep that between us. And when the leader is stepping to the right, the leader can disengage the connecting hand here and lead into a figure. This is the most common place from which you're going to lead this figure. So we're going to step to the right and create a disengage here, creating space. Now, whenever we go through something like this, the amount of space created is going to be up to the leader. The follower is still following that basic framework that we laid out in the basic step. So the leader, as we step to the side, we're going to change the hand here. And as we open up, we're going to rotate our frame, which will rotate the frame of the follower. And this leads us into a crossover break. Now, the crossover position here, we're simply going to take it forward and lower the same way we did before, and we can reconnect. So this is just one crossover break going to the leader's right and the follower's left. This can be repeated. So as we start the first crossover break here, we can then reconnect with the leader's right hand and the follower's left and raise the leader's left, follower's right, and lead another. I recommend an odd number. 3 is good, 5's okay, don't do 7. As we come out on the third one, we're going to come back, not presenting this hand. We don't want her to think we're going to reconnect and reach for it. So we're going to keep this very much out of reach. And as I rise up, I'm going to create a doorway through which she can walk. That is going to be our underarm turn, and we will reconnect. Excellent. So we're going to talk about the styling of our crossover break and then our underarm turn. So when we lead or follow a crossover break, we want to think about what the body is doing and translating that into our arms. So if the body is rotating at a level plane, so I'm just going left or right, the arms are going to mirror that. The arms are just going left and right in that same level plane. If the leader then decides to take that connection and bring it up, we're creating a vertical action with the body, which then takes the arm up. So whatever the body does, the arm is going to mirror. So as we bring this up, We can then bring it down by our side. It doesn't quite look like it's to our side because of the illusion created by opening up. It looks like it's behind me. But if I just turn and face directly into you or give you a profile, it is actually to my side, a little in front. So we want to think about what is the body being led to do. If the body opens up, the arm opens up out to the side. If the body comes up, the arm comes up. For the leader, you want to make sure that what you are presenting to your follower is clear. From the follower's position, whatever you kind of feel the connection doing, if the connection gets sort of a vertical scoop to it and is going up, you want to be climbing that up as well, and your leader is giving you a vertical styling. If you just feel the connection horizontally translating through, then you're just going to be opening up and out to the side. Theoretically, you can also always watch out of the corner of your eye to see what your partner is doing. So now for the underarm turn, this is the part that looks really, really snazzy because humans like two things. We like things that do this. We like things that do this. This is going to be this part of it. So as we step through our turn, we're coming to the side, and this is good for all people to understand. So leaders and followers, you want to be doing this. You're going to step to the side, and we're going to be stepping with our left foot across. So if you're watching this here, we're going to be taking our left foot across. Now in rumba and cha-cha, we tend to keep this on the same line that our slow step was taking us on. But in bolero, and oddly enough, salsa, we're going to take this on a little bit of a diagonal towards our partner. So as we step to the side, we don't want to be going straight out. We want to be going on a little bit of a diagonal. And in part, this is because of just how big the dance is. All right, so for an idea of how this is going to look, if I may borrow you again. We've come over to the side here, and as this comes up and I take my back rock, I'm going to take my back rock so that I can stay with her and on the same rhythm. She's going to step through and come around and then back to the side. So she's almost stepping onto my plane and then back to hers. Once again, that's going to go side, step through and around, and side. Now for getting this turn through, one of the things that makes bolero look really, really attractive is the contrast between the slow and the quick. So we're wanting to make our slows slow, and we want to make our quicks really snappy. So a way to do this is as we step through on slow, we're stepping across. We're not only going to turn, but we're going to kind of sit down a little bit into our left foot or into our left leg here. We're going to get our lowering action there. This is going to lock our knees together. So if we, there we go. So I'm coming around and you can see my knees right here kind of connect. They're on the same plane, they connect. So when we step through, let's see, come through, zoom, step, sit down into that, step through, and then we're going to step out to the side. So the follower is going to have slow, grow, step, and step, side. Is all this making sense so far? Are there any questions?
No questions.
Awesome. So when we do this, what we're looking for is a clear indication that we're leading the underarm turn. So for the leaders, you want to make sure that your connection stays low until you are ready for the follower to step through the door that we're making. So if I may borrow you again. when we're coming through here for our crossover break, we're going to do one crossover break. So we're going to have slow, quick, quick, slow, quick, quick, slow. I'm keeping this down so she doesn't get the message too early. And then as we're ready for her to go through, I'm going to bring it up. She steps through, and then we return out of the, and we can either re-engage here or get into some fun shenanigans right after. So let's do that one more time. We have slow, quick, quick, slow, quick, quick, slow, quick, quick, slow, quick, quick. So we're going to go ahead and give this a shot. I'm going to put some music on and let you guys try this. You can do 3 crossover breaks into the underarm turn. You can do 1 crossover break into the underarm turn. If you do 2 crossover breaks, you'll want to do a 3rd. All right, so we're going to put some music on. Five, six, 5, 6, 7, and slow. Quick, quick, slow. Quick, quick, slow. Quick, slow. Quick, 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 slow. 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 Quick, quick, slow. Quick, slow. Quick, quick, slow. All right, sorry about that abrupt ending on those on those clips. I always want to fade it out. How is this feeling? Is this feeling good? Are there any questions about anything we've covered so far?
I do not see any questions.
Excellent. So what we're going to do is we're going to add a little variation. I mentioned earlier about a little bit of shenanigans coming out of this. We're going to add some. Right now, we've got the crossover break into the follower doing an underarm turn. What we're going to do is add an underarm turn for the leader. So there's a little rule that goes along with this. However many turns the leader does, the follower does 1 more. So if the leader is doing 0 underarm turns, the follower does 1. If the leader is doing 1 underarm turn, the follower is going to do 2. When we do this, we want to make sure that we're not confusing our follower into thinking we're going back into the basic. We want to still keep that clear signal. So when we do this, if I may borrow you, all right, we're coming through slow, quick, quick, slow, quick, quick, slow, quick, quick, slow. I am presenting this hand, my right hand, very, very clearly and very early. I've also made sure that I did not get closer so that she would think that I'm closing this back up. I want to make sure I'm keeping my distance and presenting my hand, because now she's going to do a regular back rock, same as we started from the basic, and I'm going to step under the arm and do the same walk around turn that she's doing. But now I have to make sure that I reestablish connection with my left so that she can step through for her second And if I were to go through and do a second, she would need a third. And then she would question my decision-making skills. Bolero is big and it's slow. So we want to make sure we're not drawing anything out longer than it really needs to be. So we're going to take this all the way through and slow, quick, quick. We got our crossover breaks. Quick, quick, slow, quick, quick, slow, quick, quick. Underarm turn for the follower. Quick, quick, slow. Underarm turn for the leader. Quick, quick. Follower goes. Quick, quick. Reconnect back into our basic. All right, so we're going to go ahead and try this with the music. And when you're stepping through leaders, remember, we're taking that step. This is kind of a rare turn for leaders to do. We're taking that step, turning and settling down into that left foot and pushing out. We're going to be returning to our followers, squaring up our shoulders. A good rule to remember also, your slow step goes straight to the side. Not only does it not have rotation, we're not trying to rotate through our slow steps. We don't want to be skewing our shoulders off too badly unless we are in a closed frame and we're actually doing something that requires it. Making sense? Excellent. I'm going to wait for a response. I know you guys got it. You're amazing. You're awesome. So we're going to do this together with the music. Oh, never mind. 1 second. Let's try that again. Once more with feeling. See what I mean about Bolero being low and slow? We ran out of music on the first song. How is this feeling? Is this making sense? Are there any questions regarding anything we've just covered?
No questions.
Excellent. Then we're going to go ahead and get into the more intermediate side of things. Everything up until now has been a collection of figures that you're going to find in a variety of Cuban dances. This next one is kind of a Bolero special. It is a combination of grapevines and rondes, or really big sweeping leg actions. Now, when we do this, a couple of things are going to be very, very important. One is, one's our frame, and our frame is always important. But we want to make sure that even as we're changing our frame and changing our positioning, we are holding ourselves very, very strong. So when we talk about frame, we're going to need a couple of things to happen. First, we want to make sure that we are activating our core. That doesn't mean suck in your stomach or kind of do a sit-up while you're standing, but we want to just make sure that if we were to poke ourselves on our stomach, we can feel those rock hard abs that we all have in there somewhere. The other part is keeping our frame, keeping our arms attached to our spine using our muscles. So when we look at this, we want to think about the muscle right here. These are our lats. And when we use our frame, we want to think about kind of bringing that down. A lot of people, when they activate their shoulders, they go up. We want to make sure that we are bringing these muscles to bear, bringing them down so that when we move our shoulders, they're rotating around our spine and are taking our arms with them. So what we're going to be doing to get this grapevine action is we can do it in a closed position, but it feels a little tight. So we're going to change our connection from a closed position to an open palm to palm double hand hold, which is a very complex way of saying double high five, but low. So as we do this, as we're stepping to the side from the leader's position, I want to get my hand from here out to here. All right, so we're going to create, you see how much more space we have between us. It is 2 arms lengths between us. So as we're taking this step, we're going to have slow, quick, quick. And as I step to the side, I want to step away just like we did for the crossover break, but I want to make sure that I'm not disengaging my hand. I'm bringing it down my partner's arm and connecting at the palm. I'm still keeping my shoulders down and my core activated. Now, I tend to like starting this with a parallel rock because if I start straight into the grapevine, I may run the risk of running over my partner, and I don't want to do that. So we're going to actually scooch a little bit down this way because we're here, we're going to step through, and a parallel rock is just where we skew our shoulders a little bit, and the leader steps outside the partner. The follower, that's the word. Quick, slow, quick, quick, slow, quick, quick, slow. Now, once I've done a couple of these and I'm headed back to my right, my follower's left, I'm going to step through, side, and back. Through, side, back. Now, as I step back, I'm going to rotate my shoulders and bring my foot around, which is going to prompt my partner to do the same thing. Now, as I do this, I don't want to think about cranking with my arms. I'm bringing my right hip back and around. Now I'm free to step back, side, forward as she steps forward, side, back. Forward, side, back for her. Then we're going to sweep back around. So we step through, side, sweep. She steps through, side, sweep. She steps back, side, ronde. I step back, side, ronde. Quick, quick, slow. Quick, quick, slow. Quick, quick, slow. Quick, quick, slow. Things to remember. We're connected here. As we rotate our body, from the elbows to the shoulder are not going anywhere. All of the rotation that I'm getting is hinging at the elbows a little bit, and it's not going to be much. It does not take much for me to be able to rotate a little bit and step outside my partner. This is a big dance with big motion, small movements. So it's just a little bit of action. And again, we don't want to be pumping our arms forwards and backwards. We want to rotate our frame around our spine. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this sequence and use the grapevine rondes, I would say no more than 2 cycles, 2 full sequences of them all the way around. Then instead of a grapevine, we are going to do a simple rocking action, underarm turn. So as we step into our grapevine ronde, quick, quick, slow, quick, quick, slow. I'm going to step forward and stop her action here. So I want to make sure I don't fully commit to that foot, because if I do, I'm leading another grapevine. We're just going to keep on until keep it on, you know? So I want to make sure I stop her and step out like that. So we're going to shift this so you can get another angle. So we're going to have quick, quick, slow, quick, quick, slow. I step into the foot and then out right there for quick, quick, slow. Then I'm simply going to raise the hand, let her go under, quick, quick, slow, and we reconnect. So to put this all together, from the basic to the parallel rocks to the grapevine rondes and underarm turn. We have slow, quick, quick, slow, parallel rocks, quick, quick, slow, quick, quick, grapevine, quick, quick, slow, quick, quick, slow, quick, quick, slow, quick, quick, slow, rock step, quick, quick, slow, underarm turn to get out. So you can see how much space this is taking up. This entire sequence is really building roughly about 15 feet. So for the leaders, what this means is we need to make sure that we've got a decent amount of space to our left and to our right as we lead into this. How are we feeling so far? Are there any questions?
No questions so far.
No questions so far. Fantastic. So we're going to go ahead and put some music on, and we're going to do this to some music. All right, is this feeling good? Is feeling okay?
Yep.
Anybody waving? All right, so when we take these steps through, things to remember is that we want to make sure that while we're rotating our basic, we are not rotating our figures beyond what they naturally do. So as we take our steps into, say, the parallel rocks, all right, the parallel rocks will rotate a little bit and we step outside, but we still want to make sure that we're not trying to take that and rotate the figure. We just want to rotate enough to step outside and then just enough to the side to then step into the next one. So we're not going to be translating our figures in circles. Only the basic is going to rotate like that. The other steps kind of stay where you started them. So to take the entire sequence all the way through from crossover breaks to the alternating underarm turns, then we're going to rotate our basic sum and step into the parallel rocks, the grapevine and ronde into the break into underarm turn. Five, six, 5, 6, 7, slow. Slow. Quick. Slow. Quick. Slow. Slow. Quick. 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 Slow. Slow. Quick. Slow. Slow, quick, quick, slow, quick, slow. Change position, parallel rocks. Grapevine. We're going to do a rock step, underarm turn. Excellent. So now what we're going to do is we're going to talk a little bit about our basic step and how we can give it a little bit of styling, a little bit of zazz to create some extra drama. So, well, I don't want to create extra drama, but certainly a few more feelings within it. Now, when we take our standard sort of Cuban framework step, where we have a rock step going forwards and backwards, a side step straight to the side, and a rock step again forwards and backwards, and then a side step to the other side. Typically in most of our dances, that works just fine for shaping, for presentation. With Bolero, because of the way Bolero moves and stretches its steps out more, we can play with this just a little bit and make it our own. So the first thing we're going to talk about are 3 ways that we can do our rock steps. So when we take our step, we have a variety of distances that we can travel in the beginning. If we take our full step forward into our forward rock, we can get a really good big rock step shape. So we can step side, big rock step, and it becomes a sit check. It becomes just a check where we're not coming over and settling and pushing like a really large rumba step. We're pushing in and pushing back out. So it creates sort of a checking action. Now, we can also take it as a whisk where we have our feet kind of closing in on one another and then stepping back. So we can take a full step forward, or we can take a stationary step and then push back to create that whisk action. That's really good if we're starting to generate as leaders a lot of inertia, a lot of energy behind ourselves. We can come out, step, bring our partner with us back, and it creates a good contrast from where we were. We also have what I've heard described as a slip step, where a slip step is sort of half the distance forward. So it's halfway between a whisk and a full check or full rock step. You can go half the distance forward and a full distance back. I find personally, I enjoy this one more, but that is entirely me. So when we take this step through, we can step in and check and come back. We can go half in and back, and we can step close and back. Now, the same thing applies, of course, to our back rock. So as we're stepping back on our right foot, we can either step back and check into this back foot. So we're stepping into the ball of the foot and pushing back out. We're pushing in, pushing out. We can also step side, tuck our foot behind, and push forward out of that to create that whisk action. And then the slip step action, again, is sort of half distance between those 2 points, between the check and the whisk, and then a full push distance out. So zazzing up our rock steps goes a long way to creating this very crisp looking bolero that doesn't really have any muddiness to it, but still has flow. It still generates this sweeping feeling, but now it has some definition, some extra definition to it. The other thing we can do is for our slow step. So the slow step, instead of stepping straight to the side, can step on a diagonal. Now this diagonal will be forward and to the right, back and to the left. So as we're stepping through, I still start all of my boleros as leader to the side, but once I come out of this first rock step, instead of stopping my forward inertia and pushing to the right, I'm going to step back, push forward, and then I'm going to redirect that forward energy diagonally into my partner, and my partner is now also going diagonally back. So it feels more efficient and a bit easier to do it this way by redirecting our inertia rather than stopping it and starting it, but it will also give a more three-dimensional flowing look to our bolero. So if we step straight to the side, rock, step, diagonal, and of course, we're rotating our rock step and then diagonal back. You can see that I'm on a diagonal line here. So if I'm stepping straight to the side, I'm here, but I want to give a little bit of a backward step as well. So
Okay. I'm sorry, Taylor.
Now connected diagonally.
Taylor, if I could interrupt, I'm sorry. There's a couple questions.
Yes.
So one question is back on the grapevine ronde pattern. Is there any rise during grapevine and ronde? The second question is related to please show the 3 rock step styles through the entire basic choreography. Having trouble seeing how this rock step style fits together with the side steps.
Yes, absolutely. So to answer the grapevine ronde, you can add a little bit of rise to the grapevine, but I find it to be a bit more fierce looking to take all of those steps at a level plane. So when I'm stepping through, as I'm coming out of this last parallel rock and I step through, I'm going to come up and then I'm going to lower as I step through the grapevine itself. Now the ronde can get a little bit of rise. So the grapevine, if you see this happen, you can see how my head's kind of coming up and down. That creates a vertical action that can pair well with the ronde if I don't have enough space going to the side. So I can still get my full leg extension in that push, but it creates rise. But if I've got an empty floor to my sides, I will absolutely try to keep that as level as I can, creating a little bit of rise coming up in the ronde. So short answer, you do you, but the reasoning behind it for me has to do with how much space do I have? If I've got all the space in the world, I'm going to keep that as level as I can and translate this slow motion coming out of the ronde into a very fast, very level grapevine. Now going back to the 3 rock steps going into the basic and how they translate into the side. So as I step to the side, if I'm doing a sit check, I'm going to lower and push back, forward, side, forward, back, side. So it creates a very big action for me to step into and push out of. So the rock step portions of the basic get very big, but my side step kind of travels along the same path. If I take the whisk action and I'm stepping to the side, because I'm stepping straight to the side and then closing my feet and lowering and pushing forward, stepping side, closing my feet and lowering and pushing back, it actually creates a box step. The emphasis on the box step is side to side rather than forward and backwards, but it does create a box step shape. Now that box step shape, if you take it with a diagonal side step, will kind of stretch out into more of a parallelogram, but I will step, close, lower, push, step, close, lower, push, step, close, lower, push, step, close, lower, push. So the 2 side steps will not be intersecting over the center point. Now, if we take the slip step action, the side steps will have a little bit more distance between them than the sit check basic, but it will not create the same box step feeling that a whisk step does. So we'll have side, a little bit back, full push forward, diagonal, a little bit forward, push back, diagonal, a little bit back, push forward, diagonal. So it creates a bit more space, but I still have room to do more or less as I see fit. I personally find the slip step to be a bit more versatile and a little bit easier on my knees than stepping all the way into a sit check, but it also allows me to generate a bit more motion in the basic step than just the whisk action on the rock step. That being said, I will use all three of them interchangeably depending on what it is that I want to do and how much space I have to do it. Does that answer the question? Is that making sense?
I'm gonna assume yes.
Excellent. Are there any other questions?
Right now, not any more right now.
All right, so there's one other part that I want to add to the basics. So we've talked about the diagonal step on the slow count, and we've talked about the three varieties of rock steps on that breaking action, that quick action. Now we've talked about our top being very reminiscent of tango. Part of that is that we can add a little bit of contra body action. If you're not familiar with contra body, it simply translates into whichever foot is forward, the top is forward on the other side. So if I'm forward on my left foot, my right shoulder will come out. So the top of my body is moving counter to what my lower half is doing. So as I'm stepping out, the good news about this is that it's not really going to change with the step. So as I'm stepping to the side, especially if I'm stepping on this diagonal slow step, my right foot is going to be forward of me. So I'm going to rotate my body to the left. As I step into my rock step, however I'm doing my rock step, be it slip step, sit check, or whisk action, my right foot is going back, my left foot is in front of me, so I'm going to rotate my body so that my right side is forward for quick. And then I'm going to step slow. Again, my right foot is in front of me, so my left shoulder is in front. And then for quick, my left foot is in front, so my right shoulder is forward. So I have slow, quick, 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 slow. So creating this, it's easy to lead, it is easy to follow, because you want to generate the rotation of the body here after you started your push. So I don't want to crank my shoulders over and then push in a direction. I want to start my movement and then get my shoulders into that position, so I'm not creating any confusion of somebody walking past me or getting into a promenade position or just any other position than where I'm at. Does this make sense?
Silence.
Well, it's because everybody's muted. All right.
So correct. No questions.
So this is it for the lesson today. So we've covered our basic rhythm, some technique in styling. Remember, keep your shoulders and your arms doing what your body is doing first. Arms are going to be the result of the body. We have our basic step into one crossover break and underarm turn, or 3 crossover breaks and underarm turn, or crossover break into an underarm turn combination for the follower, the leader, and the follower. And then we had an open palm to palm connection leading into our parallel rocks, and then our grapevine ronde combination ending with a forward rock for the leader, a back rock for the follower, into an underarm turn, which could then in turn be used to create that same he goes, she goes combination of underarm turns. Well done, everybody.
The recording has stopped.
I am unmuted now. Yay.
We're unmuted.
Okay, so thank you very, very much, Taylor, and Tara, who was able to join us. That was awesome to be able to see the partnership. That's always so very helpful for all of us. Thanks for all the time you put into preparing this for us tonight. Let me speak a few minutes to all of the participants. Thank you for joining us for this free class tonight. We're always thrilled to see you, and we hope you had fun. Secondly, as you know, USA Dance Charlottesville provides a way for us to show additional support for our teachers. We provide contact information to you, including donation information for each instructor following each of our free online Zoom classes. We make it easy for you to privately send individual contributions to support these dedicated teachers as you choose. You can use PayPal to send a contribution to Taylor and Tara using the information which I'll copy into the chat window momentarily, and we will publish it afterwards as well for your reference. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel and turn the notifications on so you can see our growing collection of free online dance classes.